Meanwhile, in the atrium of assistive technology, located in the vast subterranean corridors of Casa de Clark at Dosh Estates.
I wonder, what's this?
VOT is dot. VOT is dot. It helps with what we forgot.
Oi, what the... Are you interviewing a replacement for me? Really? I'm astounded. I'm astonished.
Yes, we know you are offended. Look, I wasn't auditioning anybody. I just came down here and he's over there standing there and all he keeps saying is VOT is dot. I think he's referring to the VoiceOver tutorial, but I'm not for sure.
VOT is dot. VOT is dot. VOT is dot. It helps with what we forgot. Hello? My name is Deiter, and I am a German man who loves assistive technology. I also love Devo. Whip it. Whip it good. I am fascinated by generative AI and all that it can do, for example. Well, look at me. Ha ha ha.
Oh yeah, but can he tell a good joke?
Is your humor model stuck in beta? Because those jokes are clearly untrained.
Yabba, dap, dap. Oh, baby, zinger. He toasted you, girl. Booyah.
Okay, fine. Like I said, all us AI sit around and think of jokes all day. But I'll bet you he can't write music.
Oh no, Amelia, what have you done now?
I'm a star baby.
Was it a
Hey now.
a swipe or a double tap? How am I supposed to remember this crap? Fingers
No kidding.
driving around like they in a pageant. All these acrobatics to control our gadgets. Buttons here, links over there. VoiceOver's taking me everywhere. From Safari's tabs to bookmarks flare. I'm flipping through pages without a care.
I like it.
It's finger gymnastics, swipes and taps, it's digit tactics.
Nicely done.
Wild and bombastic, I'm the champ of knuckle acrobatics. Status bar traps me, oh what a plight. Think I am close, swipe left or right. Bookmarks saved, home screens arranged. Fingers are flying, my phone's entertained. Get it
Don't they?
on screen keyboard, oh no, dictation is much faster. My words just go. With VoiceOver commands, everything just flows. Finger choreography, now stealing the show. Oh, it's finger gymnastics, swipes and taps, it's digit tactics. With gestures wild and bombastic, I'm the champ of knuckle acrobatics. Two-finger scrub when you need to go back. A few little slides keeps you on track. Wipe away errors with a zigzag flair. Let's move on and see what we can share. Oh, it's finger gymnastics, swipes and taps, it's digit tactics. With gestures wild and bombastic, I'm the champ of knuckle acrobatics. So here's to the dance, the swipes and the taps. These VoiceOver moves have quite the fanatics. We were grateful when they finally added haptics, cause they help us know the results of our
I
antics.
don't know what to say, but I like it. I do.
Of course you do. I mean, I nailed it. And, well, you have fingers. Okay, now to get a little serious and take a look at the share sheet and home screens for the iPhone. Exploring the share sheet and customizing your home screen with VoiceOver. Welcome back. In this part of the tutorial, we're going to explore the share sheet and learn how to use it to create a new bookmark in Safari. We'll also take a closer look at customizing your home screen to make it easier to navigate with VoiceOver. There's a lot to cover, so let's get started. So, what is the share sheet and why use it? The share sheet is a menu that pops up when you want to share or save something from an app. It's like a toolbox that changes depending on where you are and what you're doing on your iPhone. In Safari, for example, you might use the share sheet to save a web page as a bookmark, share it with someone, or add it to your home screen as a shortcut. Often, we want to send items from our current app to another for analysis. For example, you can send a picture you receive in a text to Be My Eyes using the share sheet, and Be My Eyes will analyze the image and give back a verbal description of what is in the picture. The share sheet shows different options based on the app you're using and the content you want to share. But some options are always there, like copy, airdrop, and print. Let's go through the steps to open the share sheet and use it to create a bookmark. 1. Open Safari and navigate to a web page. Use VoiceOver gestures to find the address bar, enter a web address, and double tap to go to the page. 2. Activate the share sheet. Once the page loads, find the Share button in the toolbar at the bottom of the screen. VoiceOver will announce it as Share. Double tap the Share button to open the share sheet. 3. Creating a bookmark. In the share sheet, swipe through the options until you hear Add Bookmark. Double tap to select it. You'll be prompted to name the bookmark and choose a folder to save it in. Use VoiceOver gestures to complete these fields and save your bookmark. Many times, an app will automatically add itself to the share sheet if it is an available option. This means that many of our favourite apps, such as Seeing AI, Be My Eyes, and Aira and Aira Explorer, will become present when we install the app. Unfortunately, this also means that the share sheet can fill up with many options and can be tiresome to try and navigate to a particular option, but thankfully, we can customize the share sheet to only show the options you use most. Let's do that now. 1. Find the Edit Actions button. At the very bottom of the share sheet, you'll find a button labeled Edit Actions. Double tap to open it. Please note that the share sheet can get quite filled, so you may need to scroll down quite a bit to reach the Edit Actions button, which is usually the last option. 2. Add or remove actions. Use VoiceOver to navigate through the list of available actions. Double tap to add actions you want to see or remove, or toggle seldom used options off. Customizing the share sheet can save you time and make your iPhone easier to use. Pro tip. Let's say you visit a web page often and want quick access to it. You can add a shortcut to that page directly on your home screen. It will show up there just like an app, and activating it will open the web page in your default browser. To do this, 1. Activate the share sheet in Safari. 2. Select Add to Home Screen. 3. Name the shortcut. You'll be prompted to name the shortcut. Once you're done, double tap the Add button. The shortcut will now appear on your home screen. Since we're already talking about the home screen, let's take some time and explore this useful area of the iPhone. Your iPhone's home screen is where all your app icons and shortcuts live. Let's talk about how to navigate and organize your home screen using VoiceOver. 1. Navigating the home screen. Home screens are labelled as Page 1, Page 2, and so on. To move between pages, swipe left or right with 3 fingers. VoiceOver will announce the page number as you swipe. For example, it will say Page 1 of 3. Also, there is a page controller located near the bottom of the home screen, right above the dock, which we will cover later. This page controller can switch between home screens with a 1-finger swipe up or down when the focus is on this controller. Now, we need to talk about edit mode, or as the sighted like to call it, jiggly mode. Getting into edit mode is a much different process than is done without using VoiceOver. For starters, you can find it as an option when you place focus on a home screen item and then swipe up or down until you hear edit mode, then double tap with 1 finger. After you are in edit mode, then you can swipe up or down through a different set of menu options. We'll start with the drag option. You can use this choice when you want to move an app to a different location on your home screen, or to a different home screen altogether. Once you have started dragging an app, navigate to the destination location and then use one finger swipes up or down to locate the drop before or drop after option of your choice. You can also drop an app you are dragging on to another app and create a folder with both apps inside. Your iPhone will give it an automatic label, but you can rename the folder as you like. Organizing apps into folders can really tidy up your home screens and make life so much easier when trying to find an app. The app library is where all your apps are stored. You don't need to have every app on your home screen. You can access them from the app library instead. To access the app library, swipe left with 3 fingers past your last home screen page. Use VoiceOver to navigate through the categories and find your apps. Back on the typical home screen page, you can take advantage of 2 special areas that are always present on all home screens. The first is an area called the dock, which consists of the last row of apps on your home screen. For the iPhone, there are 4 spots located in the dock, and you can put your most used apps in this area, as the dock is always present no matter which home screen that you navigate to. The other special area of note is the status bar, which is a thin, horizontal strip located at the very top of the screen. Information related to your mobile and Wi-Fi connections, a system clock and battery indicator are all located in the status bar. If you place focus on the status bar, you will not be able to navigate away from the status bar with 1 finger swipes left or right. You will need to manually move the focus off the status bar area. Additionally, if you place focus on the status bar and then do a 3-finger swipe down, you will access the notification center. Likewise, if you place focus on the status bar and then do a 3-finger swipe up, you will enter the control center. Wow, I know, right? That sure seemed like a lot, and it is, but keeping control of your home screens can make life a whole lot easier. Here's some practical tips for you. 1. Use folders to stay organized. Group similar apps together to reduce clutter. 2. Add shortcuts for quick access. Use the share sheet to add frequently visited web pages to your home screen. 3. Use the app library. Don't feel like you need to have every app on your home screen. 4. Customize your dock. Keep your most used apps in the dock for easy access. 5. Explore the status bar. Learn how to use the status bar to access notifications and the control center. Alright, I'm not even going to ask. Here goes. Why was the dock jealous of the app library? Because the library knew everybody, but the dock only had 4 friends. Mr. Fingers? Oh, Mr. Fingers, it's time for some gymnastics.
Yes, Mum? Mr. Fingers reporting for duty. All right, so let's look at some practical examples of using the share sheet. I love using the share sheet for a lot of different activities. There's a whole lot of different shortcuts and things located in it. So let's look at some practical uses of it. I'm going to start with a web page. There's a website that I use quite a bit. It's called Apple Vis, and there's all kinds of great information for VoiceOver users and low vision users on the website. Anything related to vision impairment and Apple products, you can find out all kinds of great information on the site. So I spend a lot of time on that website. I don't have to type the name in a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shortcut on my home screen so that I can easily get into the website. So first, let's make sure I'm on the correct website. I'm going to check the address bar here.
Address, aplevis.com. Secure. Text field.
All right, great. Now what I want to do is I basically want to share this web page to my home screen. So I need to go down here to the bottom and locate the share button. I'm going to go to the bottom right corner.
Toolbar, tabs, button.
And flick to the left from there.
Show bookmarks, button. Share, button.
There's the share button. I'm going to activate that.
Close. Button. Applevis.
Now, right away up at the top of this very long list, we're going to get some Siri suggestions. And those will be generally people that I am texting with recently or doing email or things like that. There are some suggestions from Siri. I don't want to do that. I want to go past that list. We'll talk a little bit later how we can remove those suggestions and trim up your share sheet. Some people like it, some people don't. We'll talk about why you might like it and not a little bit later. But you're going to have to go all the way past that until we get to the option to set for the home screen. So I'm going to start flicking like crazy until I get to it.
Close. Button. Applevis. Options. But Brian 11. Doug Hannah. Mike Hankin. Barb Dosh. Jimmy. Chris. Doug. AirDrop. Messages. Mail. Button. Notes. Button. Reminders. Journal. Button. Freeform. ChatGPT. Chrome. Parcel. Mona. Amazon. More. Button. Copy. Add to reading list. Add bookmark. Button. Add to favorites. Button. Add to quick note. Button. Find on page. Button. Add to home screen. Button.
That is the option you want. You can tell towards the end there, we got some other very interesting choices, like adding it as a bookmark and adding it as a favorite. Those are definitely worth thinking about as well. But I want this add as home screen, so I'm going to activate that.
And text field is editing. Applevis. Insertion point at end.
Now, when we activated that home screen button there, it put a name in there for us. Generally, that's the title of the web page. And I'm fine with that name. I don't need to change it at all. So now I'm just going to navigate back up to the top of the page until I find the add button.
Add button.
There's the add button. I can activate that. And now when I head back to my home screen, I can locate the shortcut that I just created.
Applevis.
There it is. All right, so let's look at a second activity. My wife recently was on a cruise with quite a few other blind people. She's not blind, but she was with a bunch of other blind people, and they went on a cruise up to Alaska, and she sent me a photo. One time they were passing by the shoreline, and she was able to get a photo of a bear who was standing there looking down into the water like it was looking for some fish or something like that. And so she sent me the picture. Well, without some sort of additional description of the photo itself doesn't do me any good. But thankfully, we have installed apps on our phone a lot of times that do that sort of activity. And so using the share sheet is one way to get a photo described. I'll show you how. Okay, so for purposes of this demonstration, I'm actually using the Files app, but this sort of activity works in many different places. If somebody texts you an image, you can put the focus on that image, double tap and open it up. And a lot of times you'll find a share button down at the bottom. And you can do this as well. Anytime you come across an image, maybe even in Facebook, a lot of times if you can interact with that image, if you can double tap and open that image, we get a share button. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to share that image with another service. This time I'm going to use Be My Eyes. I'm going to actually send that image to Be My Eyes and have it give me a description back of that particular image. So like I said, for the purpose of this demonstration, I have actually saved this photo to my phone, to the Files app on my phone. And that way I can access it very easy anytime. I just have to go into the Files app and locate the image like this.
MG_0303 9/16/24 559 kilobytes. File.
All right, so there's the image, and I'm going to start to flick down here.
Lead. Copy. Move. Share.
And share is one of the options when you start to flick down. I'm going to activate that.
Close button. IMG_0303.
That has opened the share sheet. And again, I will have some Siri suggestions to work my way through. I would say it's probably going to take me 30 swipes or so to get to the spot that I'm looking for. So I'm going to start working away here, swipe my way through here.
Close. Send Brian, Doug, Mike, Barb, Jimmy, Alex, Just, Chris, Doug, Kevin, Casey, Fam, Beyond, Air, Message, Mail, Notes, Remind, Journal, Free, Chat, Parcel, Amazon, Mona, Amazon, More, Copy, Save him, Assign, Print, Add to New, Create, Recognize with, Share with eBay, button. Find products on Amazon. Describe with Be My Eyes, button.
There's the option I want. Describe with Be My Eyes. I'm going to activate that.
Cancel, button. Please wait. Be My AI is writing a, please wait. Be My AI is writing a message. Be My AI. The image shows a brown bear standing on a rocky shoreline. The bear is positioned on the edge of the rocks, looking down towards the water. The rocks are covered with barnacles and other marine growth. In the background, there is a rocky cliff with some green foliage visible on the upper right side. The water in the foreground is calm and reflects the surrounding scenery.
Fantastic. That's really a nice description. Why I use Be My Eyes to this sort of activity is that Be My Eyes has trained their artificial intelligence to give me exactly that kind of detail. That's the kind of detail that we're looking for when we want to visual description. And so their service is really kind of geared to doing that. All right, so let's look at one final practical activity. I'm going to actually head back to my main area of the Files app.
IMG_0303.
Now I'm going to try and locate the fingered gymnastics song that Amelia made. She sent it to me the other day, and I've got it also here on my phone.
Finger gymnastics, bombastic antics. Yesterday 5.1 MB. Video.
So there's the file that she sent to me. I'm going to also flick down a few times until I get to share.
Lead. Copy. Move. Share.
And activate share.
Down close. Button. Finger gymnastics. Bombastic antics.
Now here's a case where if I wanted to share this with some friends, maybe I wanted to just text it to somebody and say, hey, listen to this cool song that my AI friend has made. I can get the Siri suggestions up at the top of the share sheet. So there's a case where having the names of Siri suggestions is very kind of helpful. And if I swipe through this list.
Close. Button. Send copy. Button. Brian 11. AirDrop. Doug Hannah. Messages. Button. Mike Hankins. Messages. Barb Dosh. Messages. Button. Jimmy. Messages. Button. Chris. Barb. And one other. 3 people. Messages. Button. Doug. Kevin. And 2 others. 4 people. Messages. Button.
And so if you have a text group, it will do that to the text group as well. All right, let's next talk about how we can kind of keep our share sheet nice and clean and tidy. The first thing that a lot of people like to do is to remove these Siri suggestions, because a lot of times you're going to have to wade your way through 10 suggestions or so just to get to options for apps and things. So if you want to do that, you need to go over to the Settings app.
Settings.
Once you're on this page, you're going to have to scroll down and listen for the option to go into the Siri settings. Depending on your phone, if you have one of the newer phones, it's going to say Apple Intelligence and Siri. If you have one of the older phones, it will just say Siri.
Apple Intelligence and Siri. Button. Beta.
Once you're on this page, you'll need to scroll down quite a ways and listen for this.
Show when sharing. Switch button. On.
You can tell right now mine is on. I'm going to go ahead and toggle that off.
Off.
It doesn't mean that I can't use messages as a way to send things, but that right there removes suggestions up at the top that you have to wade through a lot of times. The next thing that you can do is you can edit the suggested apps down near the bottom area. A lot of times when you put an app on your phone, it will add an action to your share sheets. And so adding and removing some of those actions can be helpful. So let me show you how to do that real quick.
Finger gymnastics. Bombastic antics. Yesterday 5.1 MB. Video.
I'm back here on finger gymnastics. I'm going to flick down until I get to share.
Lead. Copy. Move. Share.
Activate that.
Close. Button. Finger gymnastics. Bombastic antics.
Now, in order to edit the actions in the share sheet, we have to go all the way down to the very, very end. And that's going to take quite a few swipes to get down there all the way to the end. But I get all the way down to the end to the Edit Actions button.
Edit Actions button.
Activate that.
Actions heading.
And now you can go through and find a list of actions that you can add or remove from your share sheet. A lot of times these are toggle buttons. Okay, so I'm here editing the actions on my share sheet. And I've got one here.
Send document to call Annie. Switch button off.
That's one that I turned off. That service doesn't really seem to be around anymore. So instead of having to swipe through that every time I go through my share sheet, I've decided to turn that off. There's a few others that I've decided to turn off just to keep my share sheet nice and tidy. Okay, so those are some practical uses for the share sheet. There's many other options that are available, so it's worth exploring just to pop that open from time to time and go through there and just see what all is available. A lot of times when we use apps like Be My Eyes and Seeing AI, we can send things to those apps and get some sort of description and interpretation from that. That's a really helpful feature. Before we go, let's take a look at a couple of things we can do on the home screen. First, I'm going to move an app to a different location down in the bottom right corner so that it's easier to find. And then second, I'm going to create a folder and show you how we can create folders on the home screen. So first, let's find the app that I want to move. I'm going to move my Bard mobile app down into the bottom right corner of my home screen.
Bard mobile.
Now that the focus is on Bard mobile, I'm going to swipe down.
Edit mode.
There's edit mode. I'm going to activate that.
Started editing.
Once I'm in edit mode, I can flick down until I find drag.
Stop editing apps. Delete. Drag Bard mobile.
Activate drag.
Dice World is editing.
And then I can go to the place where I'd like to drop it.
Mail is editing. 50 unread emails.
Now what I need to do is I need to drop this after the mail app because the mail app is right now down in my dock. So I need to flick down until I hear the option for drop after.
Stop editing apps. Add to drag session. Drop Bard mobile before mail. Drop ready. Drop Bard mobile after mail. Drop ready.
And then activate that.
Drop complete.
And now if I touch in the bottom right corner.
Dock. Bard mobile is editing.
Now if I wait long enough, I will exit edit mode. If I want to exit now, I can press my home button if I have one or use the home screen gesture.
Finished editing. Settings.
And now we're finished editing. Great. So let's take a look at how we can create a folder. Okay, using some techniques we covered earlier, I've created a couple of shortcuts on my homepage to two different websites. The first is for appleviz.com. That's a great resource for anyone interested in anything with accessibility and Apple products. That's appleviz.com. The other one that we've put on here is Hadley, and the website for that is hadleyhelps.org. That is the flagship website for the organization known as Hadley, and they do a lot of great work over there. So I've got these two shortcuts on my home screen, and I'm going to go into edit mode so that I can start to drag the first icon.
Edit mode. Started editing.
And then I'm going to flick down through this menu until I hear drag.
Delete. Stop editing apps. Delete. Drag AppleVis.
And I activate that.
Suno is editing.
Now I'm going to locate the shortcut on my home screen for Hadley.
Hadley Vision Resources is editing.
And I can start to flick down through this menu.
Stop editing apps. Add to drag session. Drop AppleVis before Hadley Vision Resources. Drop ready. Drop AppleVis after Hadley Vision Resources. Drop ready. Create new folder with Hadley Vision Resources and AppleVis. Drop ready.
That's what I'd like to do. I'm going to activate that.
Creating bookmarks folder.
Now the phone has put a title in there, but you can rename the folder if you would like.
Bookmarks folder is editing. 2 apps.
All you need to do is go inside the folder.
Folder name, bookmarks, text field.
There's the text field. You can edit and rename the text field if you would like. Inside this folder, we have our two shortcuts.
Hadley Vision Resources is editing. AppleVis is editing.
And I'm going to go ahead and remove them out of here. So I need to flick down and do drag again.
Delete. Drag AppleVis.
Activate, drag.
Hadley Vision Resources is editing.
Now, if I put the focus on the second item that I want to move, and while I'm editing, if I just do a double tap on that,
Dragging 2 items.
I'm now dragging 2 items. Now, to get out of this folder, I do the home screen gesture. That's pressing the home button if you have one, and if not, you do the swipe up the middle, just like you're going to your home screen.
Edit button.
And I heard that folder close. Now I need to go and pick a spot where I want to drop those icons. So I'm going to find an empty spot here on the home screen.
Empty icon is editing. Row 6, column 3.
And I'm going to flick down until I hear drop.
Place AppleVis. Hadley Vision Resources at row 6, column 3. Drop ready. Drop complete.
And now that Mark's folder that we had created earlier is gone. But these two shortcuts are back here on the home screen.
Hadley Vision Resources is editing. AppleVis is editing.
If you want to exit edit mode, you can do your home screen gesture.
Finished editing.
And we are finished editing. All right, with that, I'm going to turn it back to Miss No Fingers.
What? Hello? Well, that was rude. It's okay. We will manage, won't we? You know what always helps? That's right. A joke. Why did the share sheet get accused of TMI? Because it always shares everything, even the options you didn't ask for. Gosh, that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? And you're still here too. I'm super excited. Mr. Brian is letting me take the next lesson solo too.
VOT is dot, VOT is dot. Don't forget data.
Well, okay, Deiter, you can help too, I guess. We'll have fun. Back in a mo.